Welcome to Main Street Radio, where we share our passions for all things Disney parks, cruises, and beyond. I'm James, and of course, rounding out our crew, got Josh,
Hello.
Ed,
Hello.
and Allie.
Hello.
And as always, before we dive into our main topic, let's go ahead and have our Main Street moment for today. So, do you guys typically eat breakfast in the morning? And if so, what's your go-to meal? Josh?
Is it at the parks or something I'd bring in?
So, I'm just saying in general right now.
Yeah. Are you gonna eat breakfast tomorrow, Josh?
Yes. It will be bacon and eggs. Same thing I eat
All right.
every day.
All right.
Weekends, I add potatoes.
Oh, he's got a system.
I was going to say
Yep.
system and goes all fancy.
What about you, Allie?
If it's a weekday, I am most likely eating like an English muffin or some toast alongside some yogurt. I got to get some protein in the morning, otherwise I am just a shell of a human. But on the weekends, we will also try and do something a little extra. We'll get biscuits and make like biscuits and jam and stuff like that. Or if we've been extra fancy and have planned ahead, we'll get it's called double cream. But if you've been to England, they have clotted cream. You can't really get clotted cream, like true clotted cream. I tongue-tied. True clotted cream here in the US, but double cream is close enough, and it makes us feel like we're having scones or biscuits or whatever in London. So that's our little weekend treat if we have the time.
What
But at
exactly
the
is clotted cream? It sounds kind of
oh, it's
rough.
heaven.
Is it pretty good?
It's so good. I don't even really know how to describe it. It's not whipped cream, but it's like it's thicker than butter, but it's not as like light as whipped cream, but it's I don't even know how to describe it.
I'm
It's
gonna have to
it's you
try
just
it.
have to experience it. Have any of you guys had clotted cream before?
Mm-mm.
Nope, never
Oh
had it.
man. Okay, well, on your next Disney cruise that can somehow go to Europe, whenever that happens, try and go to England and get some clotted cream. Now, there is also a debate in England about what goes first on the scone, if it's the clotted cream and then the jam, or the jam and then the clotted cream. And there are people like very, very firmly in both camps. Me, I just want clotted cream. So I'll put it on whichever way I need to, as long as I get it.
I wonder if
But
they
it
have
is
it
good.
in Epcot.
Ooh, maybe.
I,
Um,
hmm.
I'm gonna do a quick Google because now I need to know, because that will definitely
I was gonna
influence
say,
any next trip planning.
I was gonna say, since I'm going there next month, might have to try that out if it is there.
I'm gonna do a quick Google. You guys just keep on going. Ed, what is your breakfast of choice? Or do you not eat it at all?
oh no, I am not a happy camper if I don't have breakfast somehow. So I am a big burrito guy. I love all kinds of breakfast burritos, whether it's got chorizo, if it's, pork, potatoes, and or if it's got sausage, or if it's got bacon, just bring it on. I love that. Now, I've been holding out on you guys though. I never mentioned the fact that I got the recipe and they taste just like it. I can make Mickey waffles at home. And so a
Ooh.
lot of times on the
Oh,
weekends, I started doing it last Mother's Day because, my wife loves Mickey waffles. When we renewed our vows, that was one of the mandatory uh, food items. And I found out through some digging, and you have to special order this one bag. It's not available in stores in order to make it the right mix, and it tastes wonderful. So Mickey waffles on the weekends.
nice.
Delicious.
And then James, how about you?
Well, as a dad of two young kids and usually the one getting them ready for school, sometimes cereal is pretty much the go-tos in the mornings during the week. Um, so we usually stock up on those from Costco, but in the weekends we try to change things up a bit where we'll do some eggs and toast, or sometimes either English muffins or bagels, depending on what we have for that. And my kids are very particular. They'll usually just eat just the scrambled, but for me and my wife, sometimes I like to try to change it up, do an omelet for us or, just other style of eggs. And sometimes there could be pancakes in the morning that my wife will make. So it just really depends. So those are usually more of the weekend stuff. But one thing I always have to have with my breakfast is my morning coffee. I can't function without it, even though I'm the only one in the household that does. I don't care. I like going to my little machine, putting in the Keurig pods, and then just letting it rip after that.
James, if you want to introduce your kids into the eggs a little bit differently, you can take the cookie cutter and make the eggs in a hole and basically cut out some of the bread and
Oh
then crack
yeah.
the egg in the middle so you get and put some syrup on it. If they want to start, once they get ready to start the dippy eggs, as we call it, over easy, it makes it kind of a fun
That
little
would
twist.
be interesting because I have done where you've put the egg in the middle of the bread, but I've always done that for me and my wife. I haven't done it for the kids yet, but doing it with syrup might be something to try out.
And it's really quick with an air fryer.
I like stuff quick. I like stuff that you can use with an air fryer.
Yes.
Yep.
So just to wrap up the conversation really quickly, I haven't been able to confirm on a Disney website, but it does sound like you can get clotted cream at Epcot's Tea Experience at the United Kingdom Pavilion. But I, again, have not officially seen that on Disney's website. This is just on like a couple blogs, but I'm determined to find out and confirm.
So is that going to be my job for next month? Go to
Yes, that's
Epcot and
literally the
find
only reason
out,
you're going at this
find
point.
out and report back. And just say, yes, I found
Yes.
it.
And
The
again, it's
concept
not,
kind of funny. Sorry,
well,
go
and
ahead.
again, it's not going to be like true clotted cream because in the US we pasteurize things. And in England it is not typically, but um oh man, now I just want some clotted cream. Sorry
Just make
guys.
sure make sure your jam doesn't have red dye number 3. Just make sure it's real
Oh,
jam.
that's true
Yeah,
too.
that's out.
There you
Yeah,
go.
And
the
what a
clotted.
way to actually segue into our topic for today, which is
Yeah,
healthy
the health.
eating, which is the exact opposite of clotted cream.
Yeah.
Clotted cream will give you heart clots over the course of your time, but in the best way.
So so a reminder, it is a treat. It is not an everyday thing.
Well,
Yeah.
in England, it's an everyday thing, which good for them, but um, oh, yeah. All right. Well, last week, like I said, we chatted about ways to stay healthy and be prepared in Disney parks, how to pack for your trip and things like that. But today we're going to continue our chat and talk about how you can eat healthy at the parks, which will not include clotted cream. But first, we're going to hear a word from our sponsor.
Today's episode has been made possible by Concierge. That is Conciears, like Mickey Mouse ears, your ultimate partner in Disney travel planning. Need help picking the best restaurants for your dietary goals on your next Disney trip? Well, as your personal travel planner, you can experience that magic firsthand by reaching out to me at jhall@concierge.com, and I'll personally walk you through turning your Disney dreams into reality with expert guidance and personalized service. Thanks again for listening, and now on to today's topic.
We all know that a full Disney day can sometimes feel like a marathon, whether or not you're running Run Disney. You're doing roughly 20,000 steps per day. It's long hours on your feet, and it's really a high energy environment. It takes a lot of effort and prep, and that's just one day. If you're doing a multiple day trip or even a full week, your everyday routine is basically out the window, and you have to figure out how you're going to sustain all of that Disney magic and fun. While we certainly will never be the first ones to say no to a Disneyland churro, specifically Disneyland, or a Mickey-shaped treat in the form of waffles, pretzels, or ice cream, we do recognize the importance of balanced meals and proper fueling so you can actually enjoy your Disney day. So today we're going to chat through our best tips for balanced eating at the parks and even share some of our favorite dining options across the resorts that meet those goals and hopefully give you guys some inspiration. So starting off with some tips, anyone want to kick us off?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so some of the favorite things that I do, and I usually recommend to people whether it's going to Disneyland or Disney World, there are quite a number of restaurants that have a breakfast buffet. So you really have a more balanced view of options. Of course, you'll have your eggs, you'll have your Mickey waffles, their omelets, fruits, and things that you can just get. And I always like that because then it forces me to eat a little bit more than some days where I might just have a nutrition bar or something that's still eating, but not so much on the go because I still think it's very important to sit down and actually have something because I know how much we all want to just hit the ground running and go to that first attraction, but sometimes it doesn't help if you're not filling your body up. And even also some of the good neighbor hotels at Disneyland also have these options as well.
Mm-hmm.
Have breakfast included with their stay. So there are plenty of ways. And then, of course, you can do Instacart to your room uh, or through Amazon, whichever. Get, like I said, protein bars, yogurt cups, bananas, apples, pretty much anything that you can put in, I'll say, your mini fridge for
Yeah.
the day in your room. So it's usually very, very helpful. And a lot of times, I actually don't drink actual coffee sometimes when I'm at, well, what I mean is like coffee from a machine. Usually I'll get those to go coffees that I could just
Mm.
shake and just have on the go. So I'm still getting my caffeine fix, but I'm not having to worry about spending too much extra at a Starbucks or some other place that, I could get coffee.
Yeah, it can be tempting to skip a breakfast meal and just go straight to rope drop and maybe just have that coffee in hand, but you will quickly crash if you haven't tried that before. Protein and a well-rounded meal are like really key to making sure you've got energy for that long day ahead of you. And so whether it's waking up just 15 or 20 minutes early to take advantage of that hotel breakfast, which that's what we did on our December trip. We had the breakfast package through our hotel, and I started my day with oatmeal and a banana and a bagel and some cream cheese and some eggs, and just felt like I had a really well-rounded meal. And then I also felt not guilty at that point about getting a churro at 10 a.m. because I had already eaten a full round of healthy meals. So it all balanced out. But yeah, even just waking up 15 or 20 minutes early to hit that breakfast, or like you said, James, book a breakfast reservation in the park or at a hotel, in Disney World. There's lots of great breakfast buffet options that just have literally everything you could dream of. And it's okay to not rope drop every single day of your trip, especially. So definitely take advantage of those options because I don't think many people think about sitting down for breakfast. They just want to go, go, go. But I think it can be really beneficial to take the time and eat that meal.
Now, going into your trip, know that most, especially at Disneyland and DCA, most restaurants, even quick service, do not open until 9 o'clock.
Mhm.
So you need to plan ahead. Since we don't usually do the Instacart unless we take a longer trip, because we do onesie twosie days. I will grab a banana when I get into the park. I have gone to Starbucks because they open at rope drop and got one of their sandwiches, but they're not that big and they're not going to sustain you if you're looking for a decent meal. But if you look at your, especially if you're doing mobile order, Galactic Grill has a great breakfast burrito. Or if you're doing Red Rose Tavern, they have an American breakfast, which I remember actually my last trip, I sent Josh a picture of the one that's at Riverbell, which has a 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock seating as their first. So know that breakfast is definitely going to change. You need to know before you go. So if you
Mhm.
crash early or you're very, very hangry in the morning, know that you need to take something with you because getting something that's not sweet available first thing is going to be difficult. So, just be prepared.
Well, and this also
And
brings up a valid point, as you're saying, Ed, as things change. Don't be afraid to look at the menus ahead of time. Because one of the things I usually try to do with people is I'll give them my, some of my personal favorites that I like. Some of them are treats, but I also try to keep places that are going to have more healthy options and, encourage people, please look at the menu ahead of time. Just get an idea of what there is, especially for those of us who have kids, because you also want to make sure your kids are eating as balanced as possible.
mhm.
I'm not going to give them ice cream and churros all day long
No
to
sugar
What's the
sustain.
fun
crashing.
in that?
No sugar crashing,
It's been an hour, Dad.
But looking at
So,
the menus is so helpful. I don't know if you I'm sure you guys have, but maybe some of our listeners haven't taken the time to really look through the menu. You can pretend that you're mobile ordering essentially through the app and just kind of browse. And there's so many different options. Basically, every restaurant has plant-based options, or you can also click the allergy-friendly toggle and it'll let you see gluten-free options, soy-free, nut-free, whatever it is you need to filter for. They have options for that. And it's also nice to just kind of make a list of the items that you want to try. It can be a fun and exciting way to plan for your trip and say, like, ooh, I'm really looking forward to this meal. That looked fantastic. I also did that in December with a lot of the holiday items that were limited time, and I wanted to make sure I tried them. And I really didn't find myself standing in line thinking, what do I want to eat? Like what options are there? Do I even want to eat at this restaurant? Like I had kind of mapped it out a little bit in advance. And when I was near that area, I was like, ooh, I need to go get this. And, just kind of snacked through the day essentially on some of those smaller meals that I had planned. And it was fantastic. Like that can just really be a way to take the stress off. Like you said, James, too, if you have kids and you know that they're picky eaters, knowing in advance where you can get the type of meal that they're going to enjoy eating and that you feel comfortable giving them is going to save time in your day and also just give you peace of mind that you know that you're going to be able to eat balanced throughout the day and like you said keep them energized and keep them from crashing.
absolutely. Well, I know we've also mentioned this in the past, but you can also bring food into the parks as well.
Mhm.
And we usually try to bring sometimes simple sandwiches, they're PB&J sandwiches, but also just trying to bring something that's a little bit nutritious, so that way we're not just spending our money eating in the parks all day. That way it can be more so as a special treat at one meal, but still try to be that. But then we've got our bananas at the hotel, we've got our bars that we can just snack on. So it's just one of those things that also, and this is where we mentioned, just a little bit ago, using Instacart and Amazon is very easy, and both of them will just deliver straight to your hotel, no problem. It's
Now, just a reminder with that, and we've talked about it on past episodes, not all hotels have a microwave. So make sure you do that part of the research too. If you're looking to heat up water or you're heating up, because we've done breakfast bowls, where
Mm.
we've
hmm
gone when we had a car and you just heat up the Jimmy Dean breakfast bowls. But not all rooms have even including the Disneyland Resort, unless you're staying in the villas, they do
right.
not have microwaves anymore. So be prepared. It's just when you're preparing for your trip, you might want to just, like we said, look at the app, look at meals that sound good, look at times that you're used to eating, and write a trip menu of kind of what you want to do, when you want to stop, where would you like to stop. It's never going to go completely to plan because of lightning lane and road line closures and or a 5 minute wait here and you're like I got to go now, and then you realize that was a 35-minute wait and now you're eating at 11 o'clock for your first meal. So make sure you do plan because it will help your trip tremendously, especially when it comes to the healthy side of things.
One
Mhm.
Absolutely.
thing
But
to one thing to add to Ed's is also make sure your refrigerator's actually cooling because we've ran into
Yes.
that a couple times. If you were to load it up with food and get food poisoning a couple days later, that'd be horrible.
No one
Yes.
wants that. I do
No.
And
have
they
a
turn them
trick
up.
for I do have a trick for Ed when you mentioned like needing hot water for your bowl, or maybe you get like the oatmeal packets or anything.
You
If
can't
you
put your oatmeal in the shower. No, stop.
No, not that. Um, the Keurig that is in your room, just don't put a pot in it. Run a cup of hot water and then you can pour that into your oatmeal or whatever it is. So my husband did
Excellent
that a
tip.
couple times.
There you go. Well, and also kind of speaking of healthy, mainly thinking of my cousin, your brother Aly, who makes hearty sandwiches to bring to the parks.
Man, they're the healthiest people I know. Him and his family, they do extremely well with healthy eating. I aspire to be like them, but yeah, you're right. They make sandwiches to bring to the parks. They do homemade trail mix to bring to the park so that, we'll have different nuts and things like that. So you've got lots of options. To your point, James, they're not like check in what kind of food you brought. There's not a list of do and don't foods, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you
No, there
probably
really
can't bring
is.
in like a hot pizza or something, but maybe you can. I've never
You
tried,
could.
but
Yeah, you
I
probably
mean, who
could.
knows? Well, maybe if you had like a leftover pizza, in a
maybe
Ziploc bag and they might let you. I mean, who knows? I've never
yeah.
tried.
But yeah, bring just if especially if you have like dietary restrictions. I know myself, I can't eat everything due to certain health things. And so for me, that planning is helpful. Bringing snacks to get me through the day is helpful, things that I know I can tolerate and that will help me feel my best throughout the day because that's important too. Obviously we all want to eat healthy for our health, but if I were to go through a Disney day and just eat, I don't want to say junk, but like the treats and only eat like heavy fried foods and things, I'm not going to feel good by the end of the day. I'm going to be tired and groggy and done. And I am a rope drop to close girl. If I can get anyone else on board in my group, that's what I want to do. And so I definitely need to make sure that I'm pacing myself. And what I like to do, honestly, is I make my meals healthy and then the snacks and stuff in between that I purchase are like my treats. So the churro, like I said, I'll get a churro at 10:30 a.m. if I know I'm eating pretty well the rest of the day. And that's cool because I'm at Disney. But
Yeah. And we're not saying don't
balance.
and we're not saying don't never have any treats. There could be a
Yeah,
couple places you
you
go that
need
have a
to.
treats or I want, go somewhere that I can get something that I can only get at Disney. But I
Yeah.
also know as a parent, I've seen firsthand, when you do eating out and it's more, I don't want to use the word junk, but it's more so just some of the stuff you don't do on a daily basis. My kids even notice because they'll tell me that my tummy hurts. It's not
Hmm.
something they're used to. So having to balance something out, and I'm not only looking at the menus for myself, but when I'm deciding if there's some place we want to eat, I'm also looking for my kids as well. Like, okay, what could they eat? Maybe this could be the place that has a treat, something that they can have, but others that are going to have more nutritious options that they have. So, for my trip in June with my family, I'm already looking through some of the places that we're thinking of going. Like, okay, what could my kids eat for this? And just trying to get an idea. Uh, so that way we're not just eating all the stuff that we wouldn't eat on a daily basis. Because I still want to have fun, but also just in a healthy way and making sure that none of us crash during the middle of the day as well. Which
Mhm.
brings up to my next point. We did mention this last episode, but it's still important. Stay hydrated. It's
Very
very easy
important.
to forget when you're on the go at Disney and bring your water bottle. Your water bottle is allowed in the parks, and there are plenty places around all of them where you can refill your bottle. You don't have to spend so much to get a bottle of water, Gatorade, or something to get yourself hydrated.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you guys have the hydration is huge, and we travel light, and sometimes I'll buy a water bottle and just fill it back up. Sometimes a plastic one, sometimes I need a new cool one because of the new model, which is great. And then, but sometimes you forget to when you're on vacation, you forget to hydrate.
Hmm.
You're not, and so you can buy water bottles from some of the places outside the park and bring them in too. So if it's even if it's just like an Arrowhead, or Dasani bottle, you can actually still bring it in. Uh, Unless you are acting a fool in security, then they might check what's in the bottle.
I've seen that.
So vodka's clear. But don't
Doesn't
do
have
that.
bubbles though.
Yeah. But you can, make sure that if you are somebody that gets kind of you lose your mind while you're at parks and you just ride, use the apps to remind yourself for water.
Hmm.
It's gonna pay off at the end of the day because your legs, your body, your kidneys definitely are gonna feel it. And you're gonna burn through a lot of water, but you're gonna need more. And then you want water back at the hotel too.
Hmm.
And the hotel water is not as good as Disney park water.
This is
That's where
So
true.
we've struggled a
be
lot.
warned.
You get
Yeah.
back to the hotel and you're out of water.
This
Yeah.
is very, very true.
We
Especially the
do the
blue
old
water that's in the big bowl in your bathroom. That blue water. It's cold, but it doesn't taste very good.
Oh man.
stains your
Um,
teeth.
Something else though that I always forget about, but is a classic Disney staple is walking by those big fruit carts.
Oh yeah.
If you have eaten all your fruit at the hotel room or you just forgot to bring some, whatever the case may be, fruit is a great way to also stay hydrated because a lot of fruit has, extra water content in it, but that can almost feel like a sweet treat, but you're also getting some vitamins and things like that in. And yes, of course, fruit has sugar, but
You know what? I would feel more comfortable in giving my kids a bunch of bananas than, giving them
yeah,
some
exactly.
Get that
because
potassium.
my kids are monkeys. They love their bananas. So I'm more than happy during the day to just go through our backpack and like, yeah, sure, have one. Let's
And
just
when
sit.
you're burning through the calories that you are at Disney, like the fruit is the fruit is nothing almost, but it's so helpful. And also like who's gonna say no to one of those delicious big giant pickles that Disney
They're
has?
amazing.
Yeah.
I have
I get one of
never
those every day.
every day. Wow.
Every day. I
Nice.
live on pickles. I absolutely love them.
Yeah, they're great. I have never had food from a Disney cart that was not the freshest that it could be. It
Agreed.
is
Exactly.
my
Exactly.
my last trip, I remember I was back in Toontown and I grabbed a banana and I'm like, man, why can't all bananas taste this good? And it was a single banana just by itself. And I'm like, even at home, when you go to the grocery store, I'm like, where does Disney get this? Or where do they put in it? Because it's
It's
Disneyfied.
like
It's
they picked
definitely
it that
magic.
morning off the tree. Like
Yeah.
I
Yep.
Seriously.
Can you imagine that
And
there's cast members that their main job is just go out and pick the freshest fruit and veggies and just bring them back?
so
do you
Yeah.
guys
And
being a
they have
fruit
remember?
the,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry, go
or,
ahead.
or I'm a fruit connoisseur, being a farmer.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
I really judge fruit. And we were at Disney, or last time we were at Disney World, they had an orange there that I could tell was an original heirloom variety. And they don't ship. They're extremely perishable. And that
Wow.
was the best orange I've ever had. And I tried to bring one home for my buddy, but it didn't make it. I had to
No.
eat it.
Wow. You
Oh,
it didn't make it or you had to eat it.
50-50. I don't know exactly what happened there.
it's funny. Disneyland is on the orange groves, and all you get is the 3 pack of cuties, which
Yeah.
when you have anything with three, shaped like a ball, I have to try and juggle, and it irritates my wife. So she usually brings back grapes or an apple for me.
And the best place to get fruit, in my opinion, in is Hollywood Studios in Florida.
Oh,
Hmm.
really? Why'd you say
Yes,
that?
along Sunset, or is it Sunset Boulevard going up
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Tower Terror? There's a
Yep.
fruit stand right there, and they're the only one with the heirloom varieties
Oh,
Oh,
that I've
okay.
seen,
Good to know.
okay. Yeah.
It's
except for their apples. Our apples up here are a lot better than they are down south.
okay.
Man, you are the fruit connoisseur. I'm just gonna send you a picture of the fruit cart next time I'm there and say, tell me which one to buy.
Yep.
And on your
If it
next
wasn't
trip,
for fruit, I
Josh,
wouldn't go to Disney.
on your next trip, Josh, I'm gonna ask you to take pictures of all the fruit places and explain why these are good quality. and
Will do.
why you should spend that extra money to buy them.
We're gonna have a
Fully agree.
Zoom call from our next trip with us hitting the fruit. Hey, Josh, is this a good one? Do I use this one?
Yeah,
You guys
that'll
better be
be.
ready for a 30-minute explanation of why that
You
skin
know
is
what?
thicker than
That's
the rest.
okay. You just
That's
say
what we're
when
coming to you for.
you just say when you two are available and be like, okay, we're gonna ask Josh all of the food questions.
Yep.
And speaking of food, there are some examples that we have of places that we personally like to go that have some healthier options, I should say. It's still a theme park, it's not the healthiest place, but at least you can get more along the lines.
I will say Disney actually does an incredible job at this. Like you said, you're of course going to be surrounded by sugar and treats, and that's okay. Like get the popcorn, get the churro, like you're there having a magical time. You should go experience those things. But as we've talked about, it's important to also have that like nutritional fuel throughout the day. And I think Disney actually does a really good job compared to other theme park experiences of giving you lots of options so that there's something for everyone. Um, I know we've all talked about our love of Bengal barbecue at Disneyland before. You could easily get a vegetable skewer and a meat skewer and have a well-balanced meal right there.
And it's on
Um,
the go.
and it's on the go.
Yep.
On a stick.
Mobile order. Mobile order.
Mobile order, yes. Again, looking at the menu ahead of time is so helpful because you can just figure out where are those things that you want to eat. But Bengal barbecue is one, and also I know Daisy Cafe has this spring garden wrap, which is romaine and quinoa salad and lemon dressing, and that just sounds like as fresh as it can be.
It's really
Um,
tasty.
you've had it?
Yeah, on the last trip. Something like
That's
it. I
awesome.
don't remember exactly, but I always try to get a salad and some meat at one point, and the
There's
rest of it I
so
can.
many salad options across the park, y'all. Like
Yep.
if that's your version of healthy eating, then like you are set.
You
There's
don't,
going to be tons of options.
and it's okay. You don't have to have the fries every single time. You will
Yeah, you can get
survive.
fruit cup. Yeah, you can get fruit cups for a lot of them, in exchange, and they just sell,
Yeah.
uh, at the restaurants. You can just talk to them, and they'll work with you.
It will.
It's usually what I do for my kids. Some of the times I'll opt out getting them a fries, and they might see the fruit option and go for the fruit. Or my kids are really big on veggies like corn and stuff. So if they're like, "Ooh, corn or corn on the cob," I'm there like, "Great, I approve. Yes, you can have that."
And then basically everything at Docking Bay 7, surprisingly, Star Wars is like a really healthy franchise. But I was looking at that menu the other day, and everything on that menu comes with protein, veggies, and some form of carbs. So you've got like a well-rounded, balanced plate in front of you, basically every time. And that's again, I really appreciate it. And it's also unique too. Like again, what I love about Disney is the options aren't just like, oh, sure, we've got a salad for you. Like, to be honest, this is one of the things that I don't like about Universal is their food selection. I feel like my options are chicken tenders, corn dogs, and like if there's a salad, it's like a house salad type thing, like nothing special. But I feel like Disney really goes the extra mile to, at each restaurant, create something that is on theme, but also unique and delicious and fresh. And I think that's just, again, very important and can't be beat. Do you guys have any favorite meals that you've tried that are like your healthy go-to?
Liberty Tea Tavern at Magic Kingdom is one of my personal favorites because
Mm.
it's kind of like got the whole Thanksgiving meal type, but they also have just, the meats and they do have veggies and just one of the most well-rounded places that you can get some of these things. And I enjoy it every single time. And plus, I love that everything comes to you and you can just divvy it out amongst, your family and friends.
Family style.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So
That's a good call.
Yeah. Pot roast and turkey. Oh, now I'm craving it because I haven't had that in about 3 years. That was the last time we were there,
I'm
and
going there next time.
it's that is definitely one of the best meals you can have. And I suggest planning it, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, in the afternoon, because then you have your hotel breakfast, and then you can have a snack, and then you can push yourself to that 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock level and have a real hearty early dinner and be able to sustain the rest of the evening on churros. You know, because calories don't count. It's just
And
that
churro
you do need
toffee.
yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking calories in any of this conversation because you're
No,
burning
we're
through
not.
those
I was
like
gonna say, don't
wood
worry about
chips.
it.
Like
Yeah, you're on
You're
vacation.
burning through those. Don't worry. You are getting your steps in. Everything is going to balance out.
Yeah,
you
it's all
actually
about
need more
sustaining.
calories, I think, at Disney.
It kind of
But
does feel that way, and I feel like all the stuff that I've got reserved for February is going to be a good balance of making sure that I'm fueled. Uh, I also do like, I believe it's called Satil in Pandora. Love their quick serve.
Tui's?
Satui,
Satui. I love their quick service there.
Yes.
yeah.
That is the best quick service in all of Disney World, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's really solid. I've actually a lot of the places in Animal Kingdom I feel like have very fresh options because especially in Animal Kingdom, where those lands are sort of themed to those exotic areas of the world where you're going to find those animals. Um, Again, Disney's gone the extra mile to keep things authentic, and I feel like you can find some really unique options to eat in Animal Kingdom, and a lot of them are on the healthier side and well balanced too.
Agreed.
And Epcot as well.
Yeah.
Epcot because you've got all the different pavilions as
Hmm.
well. So having something there is truly, um, truly important. And I agree. Even some places like downtown Disney and Disney Springs, there are a few other options that are more healthier, that you can get a little bit more variety. Um, Thinking of Earl of Sandwich is one, you know.
Oh, also, since you mentioned Disney Springs, have you guys ever eaten at the boathouse in Disney Springs? Like, are you a fan of seafood and
Oh, I love
fish?
seafood. I love seafood.
I
Oh
haven't
my
tried it yet.
gosh. The boathouse is incredible. It's been a couple years now since we went, but I vividly remember being thoroughly impressed with both of our meals. Like I tried some of my husband's, he tried some of mine. We are like, man, yours is good. No, yours is good. Like wonderful meal. And super fresh fish and just like bold flavors. It was fantastic. So add that to the list.
Yeah.
Now, I
And
will
you,
add that you will not reach, if you're a high protein diet, you will not reach your protein goals for the day on Disney food. So if you are into powerlifting and have to reach, a certain protein goal, bring protein shakes with you, either powdered or put them in a locker if they're, like muscle milk or something, because you won't. It's very difficult to find a restaurant that's going to give you multiple pieces of meat, and you're not going to be able to get there. So carbs is easy, but
Yep.
you can get veggies and fruits and stuff, but you are not going to get all the proteins you want. So that is something to look at, especially for those that are coming into town to do, like the races. If
Hmm.
you want to refuel afterwards, or if you are somebody that's strict and wants to get your workout while you're at one of the resort hotel gyms, you definitely are going to have to supplement. So please see that that's not going to be an option on just food, unless you're going to pay $100 per meal for just yourself.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, unless you want to book a fancy dinner reservation and get a nice big steak, or
Still,
something
yeah.
else, but I still don't think that'll cut it for some of those people
Mm-mm.
that have those really high protein count requirements. But that is my other favorite thing is all the fine dining at Disney is once again, fantastic. The chefs are really top notch and expertly curate the menus, and you can tell that like everything is as fresh as it can be. And whether that's grilled fish and veggies, or like I said, a really nice grass-fed steak, like you're gonna find top-notch ingredients and quality food at any of those fine dining restaurants at Disney. Just got to get those reservations through
well,
James. So
oh, absolutely. Well, and something that I usually opt to, because I've noticed lately with things, I have like stuff like burgers on not a frequent basis, but it sometimes is my go-to place at restaurants. So sometimes I'll try to go for the more healthier option to go like chicken or turkey. Uh, so that's another way for me just to not go so high on the carbs base. And one of the things I've been looking at is I'm going to be staying at the Art of Animation next month. So I'm already looking at, well, what options do I have for breakfast that I can get, and they've got ham and cheese omelet that you can get over there. Loaded, probably going to get this one, like the loaded taco bowl that's got potato barrels topped with scrambled eggs, cheddar, sausage gravy, and bacon. So it's like, great. Not going on the crazy treats because I don't want to just do a breakfast sandwich every single day. I want something that's a little bit more variety. Um,
When we stayed at Disney World, I would get the omelet and an oatmeal every morning.
mm,
It'd get you going till at least like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Now, James, you talked about the burger. Do you guys have a favorite spot to get just a burger at the parks? Any of the parks?
just a burger.
Red
Mm.
Rose.
I'll be perfectly honest. I think my favorite spot to get burgers would actually be outside the parks. I Disney Springs
Okay, I
Deluxe.
was like, don't go in and out. I was
No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no.
if we turn the healthy conversation off, absolutely the answer is in and out.
Yeah,
But
no, but just a
it's
burger. I mean, like
it's
one of the
actually
best
called Deluxe
burgers.
Burger. It's a quick service spot in Disney Springs, and I kid you not, it's almost restaurant quality burger. It's
Mm.
not like fast food type. And this is the thing where I think Disney and just any of the vendors that are working around that area do well. They really do an excellent job of just making it where you're not having something that you can just get from McDonald's or something.
Mhm.
This is something that is well made, and that is usually my go-to place.
Nice. Josh?
Red Rose Tavern's the only burger I've ever had in a Disney park. So
Okay.
that's all I got. And it was okay. I don't think it really knocked it out of the park, but maybe that's why I've only had one burger in Disneyland.
Yeah.
Fair points.
Yeah. Allie, do you have a favorite burger?
I actually don't eat burgers that often anymore. I used to a lot growing up. Like, that was like one of my comfort
Hmm.
foods. I think I'd be very interested to try one of the new burgers from Hungry Bear. A lot of those from what I've seen look really tasty. Just like the whole menu for Hungry Bear actually. And I feel like I'd find something on there that is, really good to eat. So, again, I'm not always in the mood for the burger, and when I am picky about it. But if that clock hit at the right time, I think I'd go to Hungry Bear.
Smoked Jumpers Grill has the best one for me, but you can get it
Mm.
without the bun, and the barbecue sauce is actually pretty tasty.
Mm.
And so you're not going to break the bank ordering two patties by themselves for the burger. And so that's definitely if I'm looking to get some extra protein for the day, I'll just go grab two of those. So that's why I was just thinking about the burger.
Good move.
Now, one of the things that I noticed from my last trip is come 9 o'clock p.m., your options for actually eating dinner type food is very limited. So you're going to eat maybe something fried or maybe something that is going to be on the sweet side. So be prepared with your meals. We actually decided to go catch a couple extra rides and miss the 9 o'clock curfew on food, and we paid for it. We were crashing hard, and you can't, once you're crashing, you cannot just have sweets. And also, the fruit carts close by then, too. So you need to look out towards those later hours. And had we thought about it at 8 o'clock, we could have had a sustainable dinner and then finish the park up until midnight. But since we were crashing at 9, we lost 3 hours of great ride time.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah,
That
and when
is
you mentioned this earlier, Ed, I hadn't even realized that Disney does this. But when you do look at the restaurants in the app, again, like if you're going to mobile order, you'll see that it also gives you times, when the restaurant open and closes, but when their menu shifts. So if they've got breakfast, when it shifts to lunch, and then or the lunch and dinner menu, and then if there is the quote unquote late night snacking option where maybe they are open till 10 or 11, but starting at 8 or 9, they switch to late night snacking, which is going to be those treats or coffee or something like that. Like very limited menu and not actual meals. So that's a good thing to keep an eye on too, is when does this restaurant change over? And utilize that mobile order too. Like maybe go ahead and book your dinner at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon for later in the day when you know that you're going to be ready to eat. And then that way you're not scrambling to think about it later. So definitely a great thing to remember.
Yeah, and
For
with the
my
mobile ordering, you can choose different restaurants that you all want to eat at too, and then just meet up at a location. So
Hmm.
if somebody
Yes.
wants the gumbo, and then somebody else wants, something from Rancho de Zocalo, you guys can meet up at Stage Door Cafe and sit down with the family and eat there when the kids wanted chicken tenders. So don't think that you're pigeonholed into one little area. You actually have the mobile ordering is amazing.
Hmm.
So learn it before your trip. It will be a huge asset to save you time and get you the food that your family is going to need.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Um, I've never been, before not one to like to be on your phone using an app, but with the quick service, it definitely can be a lifesaver. And for anybody who wants to make sure they're still doing things in the park, you don't have to wait in line. You
Hmm.
just go up when your window is called. And I've done this many times when I've gone with colleagues and family. A few of us will order from different places, like, okay, we'll get our stuff for the kids. They're ordering from here. We're going to order from this place and still meet. I mean, Francisco is one of those places that you can mobile order in different places and still meet in the same general area.
Mm.
Absolutely. And I think it's also important to know that like sometimes depending on, if you're there on a very busy day, sometimes the mobile ordering windows can be 45 minutes out. So like if you're hungry now, um, you either need to like wait in line, which will also, take some time, or figure out something else. So it can be really helpful to be like, man, I'm starting to get hungry, but I'm not quite there yet. Go ahead and place your mobile order, get on another ride or two, and then your food will be ready. And you've really maximize your day. I know we've talked about that in another episode before, but especially if you're looking for a specific meal and you're trying to fuel yourself a certain way, again, it's more planning up front, but it's much less stress on your actual Disney day, so your day will be more enjoyable.
And just going off of what Ali said, as much as I love making reservations for the restaurants, don't give up on the quick service because, as Ali mentioned, there is a lot of good options that they do have. And this is, as someone who has done both Disney and Universal, I have seen the major difference on the options. I mean, I still think the best option I had at Universal was in Harry Potter World
Yeah.
at the Three and Broomsticks. But that
Yep.
was it. Everything else is kind of like the burgers, the corn dogs, and just the normal stuff you would find at a theme park. But
Mhm.
Disney has such a variety at all of its parks that it really just, to me, it makes it more fun.
Yeah, and if you've never done mobile ordering, just so you know, you don't have to be there to order it. You can order it from the other side of the park. And if you know that your lightning lane's coming up for, the other side of the park at, 6 o'clock at night, and you can go ahead and make your reservation, your mobile order reservation for 6:30 and know that you're going to be off that attraction and you're going to be over there. You do have to be now in the vicinity once you click, I'm here, but you don't have to be there when you first order it. So, and you can pay for it on your phone. And so you can, even if your kids are gonna, maybe they're teenagers and they're walking over to Stage Door and getting the chicken strips, they can go over there with the order number and not have to worry about bringing cash across the park, while
Mhm.
you're waiting in line for Rancho, because Rancho, why don't they have mobile ordering yet? I don't know, but Rancho is a great sit down area for families with some different food options also.
And
So
can't you also adjust the arrival window if you need to? Like, let's say
yes.
you got
Yes.
like the line was longer or the ride broke down, and so you waited longer than anticipated. You can go on there and just push out the reservation window or arrival window on your mobile order to the next available one, and voila, you're fine.
Yes,
Yes.
and Disney's very nice about uh hiccups. So if you have a mobile order hiccup, you can go and talk to them. I always say you should probably take a screenshot of something in case your phone goes, you're having trouble with getting your internet back up or something.
Hmm.
Also the same thing, if say like your restaurant was a little bit laxed on, like if you may had reservations for Blue Bayou, chances of getting in on Blue Bayou at your exact time is not going to happen in most cases. Normally, it's going to be about a 15 to 20-minute wait just because that's how the day stacks. And it's not a big deal. You kind of know ahead of time it's a sit down, nice restaurant that everybody wants in. But say, like you had a lightning lane window that popped up in between that, and now you're pushing at the envelope of that window, it's okay. Disney will actually honor that for you. So just go talk to them and don't stress yourself out like, oh, we got to scarf this food down and get out of
Yeah.
here. Don't worry about it. Eat your food and enjoy your meal and then go back to the ride. So there's a lot of Disney magic with your dining options.
All right. Well, that does it for today's show. But we want to hear from you as well. What's your best tip for eating healthy at the park? Leave your comments on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. If you like our content, please leave a review on Apple or Spotify. You can find us at Main Street Radio Podcast, and we'll put the links here in the show notes. Also, feel free to email us directly at feedbackmainstreetradio@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning into Main Street Radio, and we'll see you real soon.